We will now go back to item 5, and we'll hear from Te Rangi and Te Rangi Parama from the Otara Bike Bird, and I think we've got Diane Roberts as well. And I am hopeful that they're with us now, and I will hand over. And welcome to you both.
Awesome. Morena, thank you, Chris, for that introduction and for bearing with us as we get technical difficulties on track. So yes, my name is Te Rangi Parima. I am the Community Builders NZ Trust. Man, I nearly forgot my position. The director of the Community Builders NZ Trust, which the Otara Bike Bird falls under. Apologies on behalf of Diane. She has had a family emergency to attend to, so she won't be with us today. But let's get straight into it. So how the Otara Bike Bird started. So the Bike Bird was inspired as a follow-up from New Zealand's very first professional willy stunts competition that was held in Otara and led by the Bike Bird founder, Community Builders NZ, former CEO Swanee Nelson, who I'm sure many of you know, alongside local residents in Otara. The event was such a success that as a result, our former CEO then worked to set up the first bike bird in our community, which is currently located in the heart of the Otara Town Centre. This was to keep the connection between whānau and support local youth whose lives pretty much revolve around biking. The Otara Bike Bird opened in November 2020 and operates out of a second-hand shipping container. Fast forward 9 months later, we have had 62 community events and activations that have been both held within our community and supported by the Otara Bike Bird and other areas, including actually the opening of the new Southern Pathway in Takanini, which was has been heavily used since its opening. That's approximately 7 events a month, which doesn't actually include our daily operations of fixing and distributing bikes to our local whānau, as well as community bike mechanic workshops. Who are we? So this is our core team. This is our core team of local volunteers. We have Luke, who is a qualified professional bike mechanic, Lorenzo, Quinton, and Tamato, who is actually our youngest mechanic. Diane, who is the wahine in this photo, she is the Otara Bike Bird project lead, and our awesome and amazing jack of all trades, Papati, who is also part of the GI Eco Matters Bike Bird. What we do, in short, we do what matters to the community, and this actually comes in the form of bike mechanic workshops, repairing bikes, having local youth pimp their own helmets to encourage safe riding, rescue and redistribute bikes. We run guided bike tours around Otara where everyone is also fed after every ride, and advocate. We also advocate on behalf of our community. Some key events. So we've got some key events here that are highlighted to us, and that includes the Otara Bike Rave, which is the very first bike rave that we've had in Otara, the first of its kind, and the Otara Wheelie Stunts competition. So that's actually the only one like this in the country, is sponsored by GT Bikes USA and Worrells every year. So we have some awesome videos and events on our Facebook page if you would like to go and see what those events look like. So there's some really good footage there as well. Moving on to future plans for the Otara Bike Bird. So as some of you may already know, the velodrome is currently under redevelopment by Monaco. We found out about this and we put out a petition to our local community, and we presented this petition to the Otara Papatoe local board on behalf of our community at the beginning of this year, in consideration of a bike park to be included into the redevelopment plan. It's now actually sitting with Pānuku, yay! It's now sitting with Pānuku, and our team are really looking forward to what the outcome was. But at the moment, it is looking really good. We need one locally, as our kids and whānau find it difficult to get to others outside of the area. The closest at the moment is Collindale Park, which actually, if you look at the infrastructure, isn't safe to get to, especially if you're not a confident bike rider. We just received funding from the Otara Papatoe local board to get our new Otara BMX team off the ground to support development pathways and bike riding for our local youth. So this was also to help create positive pathways for our youth who have in the past been used to, in all honesty, used to drug run using bikes. These guys actually are incredible bike riders, and for some people they're annoying, as you have seen in the news a few times, but it's actually because we don't have the infrastructure in our community to support them to do what they love safely. We never had a dedicated bike group to help them with positive pathway options, and in professional bike riding area. So that's what that kaupapa in regards to the Otara BMX team is focused on. Another future plan for us is the Monaco City Bike Group. So at the moment we're part of the community consultation group for the Monaco and Mangere bike infrastructure investment with AT. We currently don't actually have a dedicated Monaco bike group. So we took the initiative to get this off the ground in light of the transformation and investment coming into the space, the Monaco space. With that, it's important for us, and we know this from the Otara Bike Group, it's actually really important for us to have local residents in and around the Monaco city have a voice in these plans, especially when it comes to cycling infrastructure. If we're able to get connected to this place safer by biking, it's a win-win for all, because there are so many amazing places and awesome up-and-coming places and spaces to visit in this area, but accessibility can become an issue at the moment. So we have a new and awesome Monaco Bike Group lead. His name is Juan, who actually lives carless with his family and stays in the new Monaco development area, Barrowcliff. We're really lucky to have him. He's an awesome asset to the team, and he brings that voice from the Monaco areas as well. The next slide we have is our map. So there are no bike maps in Otara, for Otara, sorry, I should say. There are no bike maps for Otara. So we're in the process of creating the first customized bike map for the community, thanks to the support of Fred, who is a connection to us through Bike Auckland. Bike Auckland. This is the current call out that we've had to our community, so you'll be able to see it on our Facebook pages. And we're just really trying to get what our community want in these maps, and the secret routes that are out there that haven't actually had the chance to be revealed to all of our community to get onto their bikes. As part of the Community Builders NZ Trust, under the Community Builders NZ Trust, the Otara Bike Group have the ability to, because we are a registered essential service, the Otara Bike Group have a COVID response plan. And this lockdown, it included interactions through online scavenger hunts, online bike mechanic tutorials with our professional bike mechanic Luke, distribution of bikes, and bike-inspired packs that were delivered via zero contact through to those who registered within our community. And I think it's just noting it, we've got through this initiative, we've actually released all of our bikes that we've had within our bike group to our local communities to use throughout these levels. So if there's anyone out there that have any bikes that would like to donate a bike, feel free to get in touch with us, and we'll happily take those off your hand. Just the last slide that I've got here is just really focusing on our bike group. So sorry, it's not actually in the presentation because I had unfortunately sent through the wrong one, but that's fine, we'll make do. So this hui, so we hosted a hui post-lockdown, so before lockdown, and it was with all of the bike groups across Auckland. Pretty much all of these bike groups operate predominantly using volunteers. They were all they like we are all under-resourced, but are doing a huge service to our community and their communities that they're based in. They play a huge part in helping reduce carbon emissions alongside all the plans that you as governors put together. They may be small in comparison to the bigger picture that you all look at when making plans, but the truth on the ground is that they're doing a huge amount of important and often unrecognised work, increasing the use of users on bikes, helping to keep them on the road for longer, and encouraging more to use new infrastructures built all around Auckland for their life, work, and everyday journeys. Yeah, so I'd like to thank Bike Auckland for their incredible support, and to all the bike groups, especially to us, they've been a huge support to us. And I hope that any plans that you make when considering transport and where bikes are involved, that you could remember us in the process. But other than that, that is our quick presentation. Sorry, I think I went over 5 minutes there. So yeah, ngā mihi nui, thank you for the invitation, and I really look forward to where this could go from here and future endeavours.
Fantastic. Kia ora, that's incredible run through a really busy Otara Bike Burb it is. Hey, look, just at the top of the questions, can I ask, what do we need to do in Otara in terms of the infrastructure? What is it like for kids getting to and from school by bike? Do we need to focus there? What's the lay of the land? You've told us a lot about some great activities and real interesting stuff. And what about that daily, get to school, get from school by bike? What does it look like? What can we do there?
Definitely. So definitely infrastructure around the area. So we've actually looked at this as the Otara Bike Burb, and we've partnered with a few Auckland Council representatives who have asked the same question. So the issue is, one, bikes schools around Otara, a lot of them don't actually encourage or don't have the facilities for kids to actually bike to school. So that's an issue in itself. So they've got no specific spaces for kids to park their bikes when they get to school. That's one of the issues, but also the actual infrastructure. So our roads are not bike safe, and I think a lot of bikers that come through our roads regularly would know that. And that's actually one of our volunteers, who is Papati, who I mentioned in the presentation. He bikes from his home, and he's identified that as well. So it's definitely focusing on the infrastructure on the ground. So that's the main route. So I know that at the moment within the Monaco development project, we're focusing. We've got a scope of focusing within that Monaco area, but actually, if you look at that, the residents and the people that are actually going to be coming into this Monaco area come from the suburbs that sit outside of the Monaco city, and that obviously includes Otara. But every day it would be the infrastructure there at the moment. It's not suitable, it's not safe. Even myself, with my little one, I know road rules are, if you exceed a certain height on your bike, you need to be riding on the roads. But realistically, within our community, that's an issue, because we don't have bike lanes on our roads, etc. Yeah.
No, that's a good account, and I think Councillor Fesso Collins would like to follow up on that question too. Councillor Collins.
Kia ora, Chair, and talofa te rangi. Really good to hear your voice. I love the vibrancy and the dynamism and the energy that's coming from your voice. And thanks heaps. Honestly, I really admire the work you guys are doing, OKV, and how you're on the ground, not just with the bikes, but also with supporting the community. So awesome to have you in the meeting. And thanks, Chair. I think it's really good that you've accepted this presentation, because it's great to hear the locals of Otara and just how ambitious they are for the community. The Chair, Te Rangi's already asked you the question around infrastructure, and I was interested in that too. But I guess my question is related to how you're seeing the confidence levels of our young people and who are using the bikes now and involved in the comps. If you're seeing a lifted sense of confidence and slowly a shift away. There's often been negative media around our young people who cycle, or you're biking around the lights and that. Are you seeing a shift in some of that attitude from our young people?
Yeah, I think with our young people, particularly in Otara, they're very confident on their bikes, and that's because they're quite street smart. The culture here in Otara, as many of you may know, is they are quite street smart. So the confidence in them coming out to actually ride a bike is not the issue. It's having the facilities for them to do it safely. And you'll know from all these news articles that come out and social media comms that come out that there we have unsafe riding all throughout Otara, and that's because, like I said in the presentation, the facility's not there, and that's part of the reason why, or actually the main reason why, we did that presentation towards the local board, the Otara Papatoa local board, to have a bike park considered into the new development of the Monaco Velodrome. So predominantly, yes, the confidence is there. It's just about us changing the mindset to one, future development plans, and to having a facility for them to do it actually safely, and having some sort of guidance. And to us, that looks like at least having a bike track considered into the Velodrome redevelopment that's already happening. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And thanks heaps again to the Otara Papatoetoa local board. They've been really awesome in supporting you guys. Malu.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Collins and Te Rangi for that response there. And we have the Otara Papatoetoe board chair, Apula Rees, with us on this call as well. So he's in support, Te Rangi. Now I'll go to a question. I think it's from Councillor Coombe is next. Councillor Coombe.
Tēnā koe, Te Rangi. Thank you so much for that presentation. Really awesome to hear, and I've just liked your Otara Bike Curb Facebook page, and fantastic to see how active it is and everything that you're promoting and all the different people supporting you. So ngā mihi. And a question that I have is just around, I get criticism comes my way that cycling is elitist. I just wondered, what's your perception in your community about cycling for everyday transport and local trips?
Yeah, definitely. So from us, and we've actually said this in the past, to a lot of communities, cycling is I guess an everyday transition that's, how do I say this? Sorry. It's recreational, so it's like something that you do for fun. But here in Otara, the reality is it's sort of in the picture of life or death. So if you need to get to work but you don't have transport, considering all the expenses that has as well, getting to work on a bike, whether that means biking 10 kilometers or more, it's kind of a issue to look into, in the sense of you've got to get from A to B. If you don't have a car, how are you going to do it? The cheapest option is to bike. But alongside that, also the infrastructure there within the Otara community is not, it doesn't match up to what needs to be done. So in this sense, I would say that it's biking within this community, the culture around biking is really to get from A to B, to do what needs to be done. And unfortunately, in a lot of situations within particularly our youth, is drug runs, and that's the mindsets and the I guess the views that we're trying to change through the Otara Bike Curb, and creating and keeping those connections with our youth and our local whānau.
Oh, thank you so much for presenting today. Really appreciate hearing from you. Kia ora.
Thank you, Councillor. I will now go to Councillor Hills, please. Councillor Hills, do you have a question? Not there. I think we've exhausted the questions then. Are there any other members that would like to make a comment or a question to Te Rangi? Hey, look, Te Rangi, this has been fantastic. I know you've been waiting to come to us for a while, so good to have you here. And it's also timely because at the next Planning Committee meeting, we'll be considering the program business case for cycling. And Councillor Coombe and myself and Councillor Dalton are working with Auckland Transport on that at the moment. And one of the options is that we really start to home in on better infrastructure around schools, getting our young people to and from schools, and then branching out from that. So please, tune in next week, next month when we consider that program business case. I think it's the 1st of November meeting of the Planning Committee. So no, I've got Councillor Hills was cut off. Oh, he got disconnected, so he's back now with a question. So I'll go to Councillor Hills with a question for you, Te Rangi. Councillor Hills, please. No, he's not back. We're going to have to move on. So thank you, Te Rangi. Love your logo. You couldn't find that logo anywhere else. Absolutely yours, and it's powerful. Don't forget, members, you can find Otara Bike Burb on Facebook and Instagram. I've already found them there this morning, or at least on Facebook. And any old bikes, they need to be sent Te Rangi's way, and they'll be repaired, and they'll be on the road of Otara and Papatoetoe, I'm sure, in double quick time. Te Rangi, you're fantastic. Councillor Collins and Councillor Alf Filipina will move in second.
Chair, are you there, or am I? Did I get?
We've now got Councillor Hills coming back. Councillor Hills, we're going to come back to you. We're just about to conclude, but we've got your connection now and you have a question.
Yeah, apologies, Chair. I managed to join on the phone. I got cut off and I was listening to Te Rangi's answer, and it was really, really great. So I just want to firstly just thank you and thank you for changing and attempting to change the face or the assumptions around cycling and transport and access. Often around the council and the public, we get this assumption that South Auckland, people in South Auckland don't ride bikes. Cycle lanes are aimed at people wearing lycra, like you said, going on a peloton. But I guess my question is, based on the fact that all our data says that people in South Auckland have the least access to cycle infrastructure, I guess how can you help us elevate how can we help you elevate your voice and the voice of the people you represent to ensure that we get a better infrastructure for your community, but also tell the story that actually it's not just about the people in Lycra who are still important, but it is about every community just getting from A to B. How can we help elevate your voice and get you the infrastructure you need?
Yeah, definitely. You caught me off guard with that one. But what I would say that it would be just definitely connecting with us, because like you've seen, we've got so many projects going on at the moment, and that even though there's different projects happening, they all focus on getting people on bikes, getting people from A to B. And like I said before, it would really come down to the infrastructure and how we can somehow put that into our plans. But yeah, I think it'll be good to maybe yourself, Councillor Hills, if you can get in contact with myself through the Otara Bike Group, we could talk more on that and what that kind of looks like properly as a side.
Yes, I'd love that. Thank you so much. I have heard of your work before, but to put it so eloquently like you have today, just explaining that literally it's life or death, it's getting from A to B, just really, really appreciate you coming on and hopefully changing the views of those who are listening out there as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Hills. And I've given my thanks, but I'd now like to hand over to Councillor Officer Collins to show some appreciation on behalf of us all and in his own words. Councillor Collins.
Oh, thank you, Chair. I was just noting that I'm happy to move the vote of thanks, but I wanted to just add, we're really impressed, and you'll see, many on the call will see from this that there's a real coming of age for the Otara community. We've got an emergence of young leaders in the area who are really taking the lead and providing and facilitating a way for our families to feel a whole lot safer, to feel like they can contribute to Auckland's wider region. And so this is really impressive. We're grateful for all the work that they do. And I know that the local board, the Otara Papatoetoe local board, have been working alongside them, encouraging them. So there's a whole network in the community that's really racked up, ambitious, and desires the best for the community. So Te Rangi, thank you so much. I know that Diane's unable to be here, but you're working alongside a group of people who are caring and compassionate and really committed to the community. So it's been a real pleasure having you on the call today, and really appreciate all that you and the team are doing. Thanks heaps, Chair, for that opportunity to make a few comments.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Collins. And members, we've added a B there, and we're just going to make sure that Eke Panuku is definitely aware of the pump track concept and idea that's come out of Aotearoa Bike Burb. So we'll convey that to Eke Panuku and Auckland Transport. And we'll hear more on cycling at our next meeting when we consider the program business case for cycling. Any other speakers would like to say anything further? There being none, Te Rangi, thank you so much. Lots of love to your Aotearoa Bike Burb people, and we'll hear more from you, okay? It is moved, it is seconded by Councillors Collins and Filipaina. All those in favour say aye.
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 Contrary, no, and declare that carried. Thank you, members.